Welcome to Dory Cote on Shamanism, a weekly podcast that explores one theme in shamanism throughout each month. Get comfortable, have a seat, and let's get started.
Welcome to this week's podcast on the topic of shaman. I invite you to listen and send me any feedback or questions you might have after listening to this podcast.
Dory, in the last episode, you gave us an overview of what a shaman is in comparison to a medium or a psychic. Can you give us more detail about what a shaman does?
Yes, a shaman does so many different things that is really difficult to characterize all the possibilities of what a shaman or shamanic practitioner might be able to do for you as a human being, or what they might be able to do on behalf of animals, plants, or the entire planet. In general, as I said in our last podcast, a shaman is trained to allow intentionally a part of their soul or spirit to leave their body, to travel to other realms outside of this place that we live here on Earth, and access knowledge, power, and healing on behalf of another being. Generally, a shaman, and for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to use the word shaman here rather than just keep saying shaman or shamanic practitioner. A shaman's purpose goes back many centuries and has been and still is about being of service. It is about being of service to the soul, to the spirit of all beings, and focusing on healing what is broken or not working in a person's life if they're working with people. They also are generally capable of being outside of this space and time, bringing back knowledge and wisdom from their spirit helpers, whom they've developed a long-term relationship with, who are very, very trusted allies, and using or distributing or in some way conveying that wisdom or knowledge to others who might benefit from it. Now, that might be done on a one-on-one basis because an individual is seeking guidance about a particular topic, such as, gee, I have this job offer in Santa Cruz, California. It would entail moving my whole family there. I don't know what is in my highest good. Should I take that job or not? So if you go to see a shaman with that kind of question, the shaman is going to journey, is going to work with their trusted long-term allies, spirit allies, to divine what information is in your highest good. So it's not about what the shaman thinks. It's not about anything practical. It's not about what you think. It's not about anything other than what is in the highest good of this person at this time, or this person and their family at this time. So the shaman also can work with helping people who are in deep, deep grief about the loss of a loved one. They might travel outside of time and space to connect with the spirit of that loved one, to get information that might be helpful to the grieving person who is in their midst, to get information. I've had people ask me even, what should I do with grandmother's silver, and get that information from the deceased loved one. And so it's not coming from my head, and it should never be coming from the shamanic practitioner's head in any kind of way. It's pure knowledge coming from another realm. Shamans do ceremony. Shamans do healing. Shamans bring back wisdom. Shamans create a harmonious earth that we all live on. A big part of what the shamanic community throughout the world is doing is focusing on bringing balance back to the earth, restoring a state of harmony in all beings, intentionally working to protect the waters, to heal the air, to be in relationship, in right relationship with all beings on the planet, to pray and dance and sing and celebrate life as it is each day in each moment. So shamanism really is, it's a practice. It's far more involved than just simply going and taking a weekend workshop or having a sense that you would like to go to a fire ceremony. It is a very, very deep, very involved, very committed path. Like Buddhism. People who are really, really Buddhists, who practice Buddhism every day, have a very clear path, a very evolved practice, and shamanism is very much like that too. So somebody who calls themselves a shaman or a shamanic practitioner really is somebody who is living the life of a shaman, not just occasionally doing a journey.
Does a person in today's world have to train to be a shaman? And does it matter which country they train in?
In today's world, I have a really strong opinion that unless somebody comes from an indigenous culture where shamanism is an everyday life, way of life, then training is imperative. And here's why I think that. To truly be a shaman, one has to be capable of letting go of their ego, of truly being what we call in shamanism the hollow bone, of being a pure channel, so to speak, between their spirit helpers, as I've said, who they've developed a long-term trusting relationship with, and this earth. And that does not happen overnight. We live today in a culture where everything is expected to be done instantly. We all have iPhones and iPads and computers and cell phones, and we expect instantaneous things. The path of shamanism is not an instantaneous thing. And for somebody to believe that they are born a shaman, good. That's a good thing. And it is imperative to have some formal training to understand how to use those gifts in order to serve the greatest good of all beings on this planet. Otherwise, there is way too much opportunity for distortion of the power. And as so far as which country to train in, it really doesn't matter, except that my own personal prejudice is that if you are going to practice shamanism in North America, then it is far better to train with some shamans here in North America who understand this culture and understand how to relate information, guidance, and healing to people who live in this culture at this time. I say that because there is an instinct these days that it's better to go study with an indigenous shaman in South America or Siberia or whatever to get all this knowledge and power and healing that they have to convey. And I don't disagree that those are great things to do. However, it is also, I believe, really important to study with somebody here in North America who can help you take that information and bring it back to this culture so that it works here.
Are shamans dangerous? Do people connecting with shamans need any kind of specific protection?
You ask if shamans are dangerous or if you need any kind of protection before seeing someone. In general, I do not believe a shaman is dangerous. The only way I would expect somebody to be dangerous who is calling themselves a shaman is that they truly do not understand their own power or how to use it. For instance, if you were to go see somebody who is calling themselves a shaman and all they've done is take a weekend workshop, then yes, that person could be dangerous because in fact they don't know what they're doing and they really should not be calling themselves a shaman. If you go to South America to do an ayahuasca ceremony with somebody who is a shaman, could that be dangerous? Potentially, because you are putting yourselves in the hands of somebody whose culture you don't understand. And so you would want to make sure that you did that kind of trip with some trusted people who can interpret for you and make sure that you are kept safe, not just physically, but also psychically and spiritually. So in general, a shaman is not dangerous. They have wonderful power. They have phenomenal healing power. They have the capacity to bring through information that can be soothing and healing and a balm to your soul. And one other way that a shaman can be dangerous is if you go to see somebody and they, after doing a shamanic healing ceremony with you, such as perhaps, soul retrieval or extraction or something similar, and they say to you that you have, this kind of problem or that kind of problem, like some big spirit is attached to you or something like that, and you need to come back for at least 6 sessions or 10 sessions or something like that so that they can rid you of this problem, then that is dangerous. You have just met somebody who is not working from a place of integrity, and you should run the other way. A good shaman or shamanic practitioner might say to you, I see, in having done this healing work that we've made tremendous progress. I urge you to go out and allow yourself to evolve with the healing work that we have done here. And if you feel called to come back, these are some things that we might address. There could be this kind of issue, there could be this kind of issue, and go with your own sensibility about whether that feels right to you to come back and visit for that. Then you have been speaking with somebody who is a practitioner who is working from a place of integrity. That is of utmost importance. You should never be hearing from a shaman, you have this problem and you need to come back to see me 10 times or 12 times or 3 times or anything like that. That is not appropriate. What is important, really important, is that you see a shaman who is inspiring, who is using healing language, who is not frightening you in any way, because we live in such turbulent times here in this 21st century that to be jolted or traumatized in any way by the experience of seeing a shaman is absolutely counterproductive to what the purpose of any shaman living here in North America in this 21st century should be doing. So be alert. If your antenna goes up and you feel this person is not safe because they're not using healing language, they're not helping to inspire you, then run the other way and go find somebody who inspires you.
This completes our prepared questions. on Shaman. Is there anything you would like to add?
Not at this time. I feel like I've been fairly thorough on this subject, and I, again, invite people to email me or write a comment on the website. Send me any questions you might have about this topic. I'd be happy to respond to you.
Thank you for listening to Dory Cote on Shamanism. We'd love to hear your thoughts, stories, reactions, and questions. Come on over to dorycote.com and join the conversation. And tune in next week for more on this subject, or next month for a new subject. You can subscribe to this podcast in iTunes or sign up on dorycote.com to receive notices when the podcasts are posted. That's Dory, D-O-R-Y, and Cote, C-O-T-E.com. Drumming and rattling by Dory Cote and Terry Morgan. Technical assistance and audio production by JillHackett.com. And this is Susan Savell, wishing you many blessings in your life. We hope to have you join us next time.